Just have to take a quick minute to thank our sponsors, Yellow Dog Paddle, Mackin's Rip and Lips Fishing Trips, NJFishing.com, and 8 Ball Sport Fishing. Also have to thank our supporters, Psycho Jigs, Lip Glue, Nor'easter Hardcore Apparel, Hoggy Time Jigs, The Mimi Sick, and The Gambler. Episode number 129 of the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Santiago. As always, my partner, Chris Pereira.
Deuce fucked up the intro.
Deuce seemed to screw up the intro, so I'm here a little earlier. Deuce, like we were talking about Deuce, he lost a lot of weight and got in shape, and he's just disappearing on us. Getting famous, I guess. Now he fucked the intro up. I don't know what his deal is. We'll have to interview Deuce.
We have to cut that many people out of the intro from now on.
An upcoming episode, I want to interview Deuce. Like, Deuce is going to be the guest on the NJ Multi-Species Podcast. I want that to happen.
Will he agree to that?
Sure. He will.
He said, yeah.
He'll do an interview.
There you go.
That's cool. Schedule him, Chris. Get him on there.
We have no open dates.
Pull up the Mayhem standings, of course. Kevin always makes them so small I can't see them. But pretty crazy. Basically, Greg Wojcik put up a first-place yellow perch, which caused a huge shift in the board that gave Greg 3 points. I believe it knocked Chris off the board, so Chris lost a point.
It didn't knock me off the board. It
knocked you off
me down.
Didn't it knock you off the perch board or no?
No, I had the first place one. Now I have the second place.
Oh, okay. So you lost a point there. I went after your muskie. I didn't specifically go after your muskie. I went after the tiger muskie, and I caught.
I don't believe that.
Oh, God. Well, whatever. I want the white perch. You owe me a white perch. I mean, I want.
No, I don't owe you a white fucking perch. No, I don't.
You owe me a white perch. I got you a perch.
I helped you with the rainbow trout. You don't need. You don't know. I don't owe you nothing.
Fine, that's fair. But yeah, this is getting crazy. Now it's become mayhem. I mean, basically from second place to sixth place could change at any moment. The Wojcik knocked Chris down a point. My muskie knocked Chris down a point. I'm within 2 points of Chris. Everyone is within.
I believe that there is a conspiracy. I believe that there's a conspiracy. Chuck lured me to the ocean with the allure of bluefin tuna inshore. There was nothing. Then he said, well, we could just blackfish. Then his Rodan broke, so we had to use his anchor. Somehow it worked. I didn't think it was going to work, but we caught some blackfish. Whatever. It was fine. I had a good time till we got back to the dock. Then Chuck smashed my ribs on the side of his boat. Is he here? Is he in?
I'm still pulling. Deuce, can you give me a link to the director's thing so I could see the Facebook? Yeah. Chuck told me about the day. He lured me out there one day too. I was out there, and then he tried to lure me out there again, and then he complains that I'm not freshwater fishing. I don't know what his psychological games are he's up to, but
I think he's played us this whole time.
I think so, yeah. Chuck has basically run away with it. You'd need a miracle to catch him now in 10 days where, like, everyone's fighting for second to sixth.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming. I didn't really think anyone would care about second place, and now I'm being targeted again.
I mean, yeah, and there's been a lot of fish entered. The number is approaching 800 fish entered, which is ridiculous. I also have to say, Yellow Dog Paddle, I'm not going to say how big, but Yellow Dog Paddle caught a monster walleye today. He's going to post it tomorrow. But he did catch a monster walleye jigging the Delaware River today. That picture will be posted, I think, tomorrow or Wednesday. And those trips are still available. He's still going to continue running those trips as long as the bite stays good. We just saw the pictures of Ken Lazarchek and Jason Uhas had a phenomenal day with walleye and catfish. So if you want to get on the Delaware River, then now's a great time to call Yellow Dog Paddle, and he's still catching great brown trout on Round Valley.
Was that walleye caught today?
I think so.
Oh God! See, today I was considering actually calling him to go out with him, and instead Chuck and I went lake trout fishing, caught a bunch of lake trout, all small, no points. Every time we're catching fish every time we go, can't score a point to save my life. No big fish. I don't know what to say. I'm in like, it's not even a real slump because I'm catching fish. Like
Chuck is saying you're 100% unathletic and hurt yourself.
If I was unathletic, I would have fell down into the water. I held on and swung, but then Chuck turned the boat and smashed my ribs with the boat.
Kevin Glenn says he is fighting to just keep his first place salmon. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, we're after that too, because we don't like to see people happy, especially not Kevin.
Yeah, I want that salmon. I really wanted that salmon plaque, and he snagged the dead one that somehow counted. Who knows? Or got caught in his propeller. I don't believe it was caught.
He lassoed. I was there.
It was line.
It was the only thing that happened successful that day.
That's the only thing that's happened successfully for him this entire contest.
Yeah.
But NJFishing.com, Jerry Zagorski Christmas party has hit over $7,000 in prizes, which is really impressive. A lot of prizes we're going to have to give out this year are going to be very busy. You could see the whole thread on NJFishing.com. We will all be there. And like I said, over $7,000 in prizes. We just found out Heroes on the Water is now coming to the party to give a speech, which is one of the charities that gets one of the bigger chunks of the money raised from the Christmas party. So they'll be there this year, which is cool.
Yeah. I don't, or do we know how we're divvying it up, or they might be getting the whole thing this year? We don't know how it's getting split, but they're at the very least, they're getting half of it. I think last year we split it between them and the Artificial Reef program. As
of right now, it says Heroes on the Water and TBD or whatever it is. But it could very well end up being all Heroes on the Water. Who knows?
All right. Yeah, I mean it's a great cause. I know it's who Jerry donated the money to for quite a while. If not, I don't even know how long. But I just want to add one more thing. So the last year at the Christmas party, some people didn't win anything, and some people the same person. Some of the prizes, the same person would win multiple prizes, and I just want to just so everyone understands how the raffle works. You can buy any amount of raffle tickets that you want. There's no limit. So some people are donating a lot of money to Heroes on the Water because that's where all the money goes. So they're buying more raffle tickets. Obviously, that's when you see the same person winning multiple awesome prizes. That's why.
And Matt Unetta wins everything. Always. He always wins everything.
Probably buys
Chuck,
$200 worth of raffle tickets to donate to the Heroes on the Water.
Chuck won nothing, he says. Chuck, man, he's giving away a trip for 2 people with the NJ Multi-Species podcast. So you're gonna have a chance to win a trip to go on the Tie Man, which is awesome. That's awesome.
That's 2 people, right? Whoever wins it can bring one friend.
You can bring yourself and a friend, and you'll be with me and Chris and the Tie Man himself.
Yeah, that you have no choice.
We were forced into this. Chuck forced it on us. He hasn't given a trip away in a while because he's tired of a lot of weirdos. But he told that if what?
So everyone.
He's always nervous when he
Huh?
gives a triple. He's always nervous when he gives a trip away. You know, a serial killer might win it or something. That I'd be nervous of that too.
I think
So
I think he's been pretty lucky with people that win it at our shit, but
he had.
he donates his trips all over the place. So eventually you're gonna.
But I think he stopped. Like he hasn't donated in a little while. But now he's like, if you guys come, I'll do it. So we do. So we're doing it. So me,
Well, we're trying to figure out why he like. There had to be someone
because
we
if it's
think
a serial
it's
killer,
Henro. Well, we think it's Henro.
Tenro.
We think Henro tried to eat all the stripers that were caught that day, all the big overs.
George Shower. Hey, I agree with you. Henro seemed to be the last winning person of a Chuck Manny trip, and then the trips ended. So that is suspect of Henro.
Yeah, I definitely think it's because he tried to eat. I mean,
he definitely tried to like put a 51-inch striper in the cooler too, probably,
or eat eel. I heard stories he actually ate some of the eels.
He would. Why would he not eat the eels? I mean, he'll eat anything. He'll eat the eels. Henro will be at the Christmas party eating whatever's there too. I mean, just gonna eat that guy. Yeah. The guest tonight is a guide from Pennsylvania that does multi-species fishing, which me and Chris started a discussion about the Pennsylvania fishing license on the last episode before this. I don't think he is ready yet, but
he'll be ready in a second.
There are a lot of very interesting fishing opportunities right across the Delaware River into Pennsylvania. And they also have a pretty decent tributary fishery of salmon, steelhead, and brown trout that's really underlooked from New York. I'm going to see it. I don't know if this guy does any of that shit. He seems to be way more south, but.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics. The one specific that I do know, I don't know if anyone watched the episode with George Shower. This is his buddy. That's when it was mentioned. I kind of feel like we were asking George a lot of questions about, in specific, the freshwater striped bass ice fishing fishery, and George kind of told us about his buddy Josh with Fish Fever Guide Service, and that's one of the main things he does. And for me personally, that's what I'm most intrigued in, because it's the one local thing that I can think of that I have never tried that just seems awesome. It's very local to us here in New Jersey. I mean, depending where you live, it ain't that far over the border, and it just seems all like pulling a pure strange striped bass through the ice just seems awesome to me.
I mean, I've never pulled a hybrid through the ice. I'd love to get a hybrid through the ice, but yeah, the true strange striper through the ice seems like the basically I can't imagine anything crazier except maybe a burbot. I mean,
well, we don't have burbot, so
why? What do you mean?
We don't have any burbot here.
We don't, but we need some. Craig Lemon, if you're watching, we need burbots here. We need a burbot lake.
I feel like you're saying that weird.
I love those. You ever look at those pictures of those? I'm like fascinated by it. Didn't Luke catch one?
I don't remember. I know Fonz caught one.
Was it Fonzie? Yeah, somebody caught one. Those things are amazing. If you've never seen a burbot, Google. The guest was just ready to come in. And he left now. Gone.
Do we have a problem with him coming in, Deuce?
No, he was there.
No? Oh, there you go. Joe talks too much. The guest is ready.
There he is. All right, so we'll be back in 1 minute with the guest. Okay, so we have our guest from Fish Fever Guide Service, PA, Pennsylvania, Josh Taylor. Been a guide now 4 years, fishing PA for over 25 years. Josh, welcome to the NJ Multi-Species Podcast.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, what's up?
It is exciting to have you here because you're right across the river, and you're also a multi-species angler, but there's seems to be more opportunities in Pennsylvania if you're willing to drive, really long distances.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely has its species you can drive for, but it's funny you mentioned that. I actually think New Jersey might have a little bit better diversity of species available to it, so we might have a conflicting opinion on that one.
Well, we think New Jersey's the best in the whole country. People constantly argue this with me that PA's better, New York's better. It's really not. I mean, especially with the saltwater.
Just especially like with the stocking programs I see, and I'm not like tuned into everything that your state does, but from what I see, they have a little bit better diversity in what they stock. Like particularly like lake trout and pike come to mind. We have very few places with either of those.
Really? I didn't know that. I didn't ever really look into it. I didn't know Pennsylvania didn't really get into the pike stocking too much.
Lake Wallenpaupack has a pike population. I'm not sure how targetable the population is. And then there's Lily Lake, which is like the only pike fishery we really have on this side of PA anyway. I'm talking like east side of Pennsylvania. There's plenty out west.
Okay.
Me and Chris were just before you came in, we were talking about the pure strain striped bass in the lake. That's something we don't have at all. And it's just something that seems like it's amazing.
Certainly no, you're not going to find me complaining about it. Yeah, I love the stripers. It's what I do on my home lake. It's what I do on my free time, and it's what I do guiding.
Yeah, I remember we had your buddy George on a while ago, and we we found out that, he had mentioned that he fished with you for the stripers through the ice and stuff. And we started I remember we started asking him all these questions. He was kind of like, look, like you guys probably want to have Josh on for this. Like, he kind of wanted you to answer the questions. I'm not sure he wasn't as comfortable, like talking about all that stuff. I think you didn't want to give any wrong information or anything like that, but
didn't want to slip.
No, I appreciate George's, not speaking, out of turn, speaking on other people's spots and ideas and stuff. But no, I'm an open book about it. I'm happy to talk all about it.
Good.
Yeah, any question you have, I'm open.
I'm curious how much saltwater experience do you have with stripers?
None. Maybe I caught one as bycatch while fishing the surf once, but I've never done it.
Because I'm curious, like how they compare to each other, targeting the saltwater ones compared to the ones on the lake.
I mean, I can only speak speculatively because I've never targeted them in the ocean. But what my suspicion is that the freshwater ones have they have a lot more opportunity to be picky. The fishing is a lot more finessey, and they don't. Again, I'm speaking out of place because I don't know. It seems like saltwater stripers want to feed a lot of the time, and you don't have as much periods where they're not feeding as freshwater ones. It seems like they have a very long period of shutdown, the freshwater stripers. Again, I may be speaking out of place because I don't do a lot of saltwater striping, so it's tough for me to compare.
I mean, and I've never really fished for them in the freshwater in a lake, but I will say it's kind of true for when you go freshwater versus saltwater. It's kind of true a lot of the time that the freshwater fish, I guess, like you said, they have more, I don't know, not more choices, but just
it's a slower paced life. It's not as fast paced.
Yeah, like there's not as much competition. I don't know if that's even the right way to put it, but they definitely, like, freshwater fishing just seems to be more picky. Like, you go freshwater fishing, and sometimes you got to like finesse half a dozen fish into biting, and you that's a good day depending on what you're fishing for. And then you go saltwater. If you went saltwater fishing and you had to finesse 6 bites out of like saltwater fish, you're going home pissed off.
Yeah, I hear you.
So if you had you have a couple clients you're taking out for striped bass, are you primarily having them throw artificials, or you're using live bait?
I would say it's 99.5% live bait. And a lot of that is because unless you're very experienced with jigging, any tiny slip up in cadence is going to throw them off. I mean, you have to be a master at jigging if you want to come out on me and try to jig them on artificial. It's one of those situations where they see so much fishing pressure, the water's so clear that it's just it's way easier to feed them than to trick them.
So a larger majority of people would be using live bait, or that's just your personal thing?
I think most people fishing the Clearwater Highland reservoirs are using bait for stripers, but it's like there is potential for jigging spoons and stuff like that. It's always I think live bait will almost always outproduce.
What is the bait? Is it herring?
Yeah, herring, alewives. Yep.
And is it just live lined? Are they on a slip bobber? Like,
you can slip bobber them if you've got like the good wind to like drift it away from the boat, because, and I'm going to be talking about my lake, which is Beltsville. It'll probably apply to most Clearwater reservoirs with alewives. They are very shy of the boat. I mean, watching them on LiveScope, I see a noticeable reaction to them coming under the boat in anything shallower than like 30, 40 feet. They don't want to stay under the boat long. Deeper than that, they'll tolerate it. But what I usually do is I usually long line stuff way out back behind the boat. I often present my baits anywhere between like 70 and 120 feet back behind the boat, so they're totally unbothered by that boat.
And you're drifting, trolling, like trolling. Okay.
Yeah.
And
when you
I'm
say
curious,
trolling, though, are you talking like slow dragging, like real slow, or you're actually like going pretty quick?
Yeah, real slow. So like anywhere from 0.7 up to like 1.2 miles an hour is usually the zone.
Yeah, that's about what we're doing for hybrids.
Yeah, exactly what guys will do for hybrid stripers here, like in the summer, especially.
Now in the saltwater, they'd be up more around 3.54 miles an hour, much faster.
Yeah, they move a lot quicker. It seems like it's part of that finesse thing again. Like it's
that's great.
Slow paced in the freshwater.
The saltwater ones don't seem as afraid of the boat either, except when they're up by the birds.
I'm curious of the
Does that
size.
happen? Is there a bird? Is there ever like a bird frenzy?
We don't get it on Beltsville as much. I think they do up on Lake Wallenpaupack, but not a ton. We don't see like a ton of birds hitting bait. If anything, you'll see like a loon diving down to get some.
I'm curious about the size of the alewives in these lakes. Are they on the big side or regular? Like, because, I don't know, most of our alewife lakes have, the average size of the herring, I don't know, 4 inches maybe. 3 to 4 inches.
It'll be about the same here. It kind of like varies a little by lake. The more fertile the lake is, the bigger the bait will be. In Beltsville, it's 3 to 4 inches, very similar to what you guys have. Wallenpaupack, I believe, is like a similar size bait. Nockamixon, it's a much more fertile lake, and their alewives grow a little bit bigger. You might see like 5-inch ones in there, maybe 6 inch, but they're bigger in there.
Get a couple of bigger ones in like places like Lake Hopatcong, but the reason I asked is because I'm kind of like I'm surprised that you got these big fish going around eating these small baits. Like there's other species in there thriving too. Like, and that I don't know. I'm surprised that the lake can handle that.
I will take what you said there and take it to an even more extreme level. This time of year, anything after like September, I'd say. The life cycle of the alewives in these lakes, it goes quick. So the majority of the bait fish in the lake right now are maybe an inch long. Some of them are less than an inch long. And when I'm catching these stripers, they are puking up handfuls of like 1/4-inch alewives. I mean, they're specks. So they are feeding heavily on them, even though they're micro baits.
And now if you're targeting that to like the size, as far as like matching the hatch size wise, if you go out there, if they're eating those little tiny ones this time of the year, and I mean we can't even get herring this time of the year. I don't know if you guys can, or if you can use old frozen dead ones, or if they have to be alive.
Not really.
They got to be alive. So like this time of the year, you got to catch them yourself, or you still have somewhere to get them. Yeah.
So this time of year, actually, like, come October, November, it becomes like the amount of like good sized baits that you're catching in your cast net becomes so few that it's not worth the time investment anymore. And at that point, I switch over to using live rainbow trout that I get from a hatchery. And those I get from like 4 to 6 inch size. And in the fall, they seem a little bit more willing to like upsize and eat a bigger meal. So in the fall, I fish with live trout. But that being said, they are still heavily feeding on those little baits. So something that produces really well that isn't artificial is just a teeny tiny Damiki rig, like a 2-inch tiny little jig, just held down there in front of their face, barely moving it. That can work really well because it just matches that teeny tiny thing they're used to eating.
So they do key in on that real small size.
Definitely, yeah. Like if you get guys like have an idea in their head that they're like, I'm gonna go throw a 7-9 inch swim bait because there's big stripers in the lake, and like maybe 1 in a million times it'll work, but it's just not what they're eating. You know, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but it's just not it.
Yeah, those guys came from the salt, guarantee.
That's right.
What about ice fishing?
That's what I'm most interested in.
Yeah, ice fishing for stripers that's probably like my favorite thing to do ever. I mean, when I get a good freeze on the lake, Beltsville doesn't freeze amazing every year. I think the last 2 years we did get a good freeze, but occasionally, you know, you'll get them where it doesn't. But when you get a good freeze, get on them pretty much every year. I mean, what kind of questions do you guys have about that? I got some notes jotted down that I was thinking about all day. We can go into some real nerdy details if you want.
My first question is, when can I come?
Realistically, like sometime, like probably beginning of February. That's usually when the lake's safe. Takes a long time, but that's like, you know, February time, and then again in like early March, it's a good time to come from.
What if I'm psychotic and fish like 2 inches of ice here? Can I go there and?
So yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not going to judge anyone for going on some thin ice. I've done it plenty. Just be careful, and actually, if you want to talk about, there's a really good. Maybe we'll like work our way through the season, but there's a really good bite at the end of ice fishing season when the ice is getting sketchy. We can get to that then.
Do we have to do a disclaimer, like tell, like, all right, guys, don't go out on your own if you don't know what you're doing with a friend, blah, blah, blah. You know?
Kevin Glenn raised a good point. He said to tell all of us that New Jersey does not stock lake trout. That's a nightmare that started 30 years ago, and they are now out on their own. That's
right. They don't currently still stock lake trout, but the lake trout are there because they stock them, and now there is
you got a couple fishers.
Well, yeah, it's been over 20 years, right?
It's 20. I don't know about 20. It's been a while. No, I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even going to try to guess the amount of time, but it's been a while, and it's just a fully, like, totally fully functional on its own reproducing fish.
Yeah,
and they kind of. We won't even get into it, but they basically didn't think they would spawn at all. And instead they spawn like really successfully. They just thrived. So they overstocked some places, and they're definitely there. They're stunted for the most part, but it's a fun fishery.
Very nice. Yeah.
What would you say is your number 2 fish to go after?
Probably walleye. Yeah, I like the challenge of walleye fishing in the clear water reservoirs. That's probably like the single hardest thing to do on Beltsville. I just think the clearer the water and more fishing pressure, the smarter they get.
You primarily day fish for them or night?
Usually day. I mean, there's like that aloe spawn in like May, June. That's always night fishing time, but generally I'm fishing in the day for them.
I'm not ready to walk away from the ice stripers yet.
You want to stay?
Joe, I got a whole notepad here.
Yeah, don't know what Joe's trying to change the subject. I'm not ready yet, Joe.
Okay, all right.
So, all right. Ice fishing for stripers. It's just the coolest thing.
Every time I go to the
Joe's got some technical difficulties. It's the coolest thing that locally that I've never even attempted. So I guess let's start from the beginning, right? Let's assume someone knows how to ice fish. They've ice fished for all kinds of things. What would be the other species that's most similar to it, just to start off? Like,
okay,
anything even close? Or
I would just have to say lake trout, just because of the depth that you're fishing for them at for most of the winter. I'd say, I mean, nothing really else winters that deep. I mean, we're talking numbers that begin with 8 sometimes.
Okay, so you're looking real deep, and you're fishing real deep. So like the lake, if I was fishing for lake trout, right, I'm usually jigging. I'm picking a jig over live bait if I'm going for lake trout. The stripers, I'm assuming you're sticking with the live bait.
Yeah, I would say like it isn't a perfect comparison because the way you'll get like there's a good chance you may not get an eat every time, but like if you can get in front of a lake trout, I feel like a decent amount of time you'll at least get some chase out of it, even if it doesn't commit.
Yeah.
It isn't the deal. That isn't the deal with stripers. They are incredibly inactive in the place that they live, and they will only begin feeding at random. Like usually there's a first light bite. There's some weird random midday random time bite, and then there's a sunset bite. And you could go through your entire tackle box jigging in front of these fish, changing lures, changing techniques. You're just not going to get them to go unless they're willing to go. They just don't feed at all times this time of year.
So are you primarily jigging to go after them, or are you setting tip ups with some kind of bait?
So I will answer that question with sort of a pattern.
Okay.
At the end of fall and into winter, they'll start sliding off into like the deep main lake points. Once they settle down to the winter spots, it could be anywhere from like 50 foot off a main lake point all the way down to where it meets the basin down in like 80, 90. It can be really deep. Once they're in that location, they're going to stay within, 200-yard kind of area of that area, and they just might run a certain contour line back and forth slowly through the day. What I do is have a bait down or multiple baits in that zone that they just linger in for most of the day. And then you just kind of camp out and wait for that active period to come on. And then you might even have like 2 go off at once at that point. But your baits will be around fish the entire time. It'll drive you nuts if you're watching it on LiveScope, but you're just waiting for that active period to happen.
And when you set up in these spots, are you also jumping around, looking down different holes and jigging, seeing like what's around, or just like while you said like when you're waiting for that window bite, right? Like what are you doing when you are fishing for something else, or is there something you can do to increase your chances? Like, oh, maybe I should move some of these tip ups.
I would say don't do too much, right? Like it can be tempting. I know it's very tempting to like, I have to do something to get this to happen. I get it. It's very much just like a wait for their mood to change. If you want to entertain yourself, slide further up on the point more, like 30 feet of water, catch perch, right? Like that's about the best thing you can do to entertain yourself. Otherwise, just like stay warm in the shack and keep an eye out the window. When they're deep like that in the winter, 50 to 90, I think at that stage, the best thing to use for them is either a tip up or like an iFish Pro, something that free lines a bait, pops up and then free lines a bait. You can get over to them and hook them. Later on in the season, I'll talk about it. I prefer a jaw jacker, but that's when they're closer to the surface of the ice and there's not as much stretch in the line.
There's a time though that they're sitting at 90 feet under the ice.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be like different on every fishery because not every lake even has 90 feet. Like, I don't think Lake Wallenpaupack has it, but I've caught them as deep as 90 and then up to about 30 as the shallowest. If you have like some fronts coming in, like my favorite time to catch stripers through the ice is if you can be out on the ice when like some snow is going to come in. That snow coming in, man, they will slide right up that point and be in 30 feeding good. But that's just like the exception to the rule. Normally, they're wintered down deep.
A lot of people in the chat are asking for leader size, hook size, and tip-ups. Craig Lemon said they stopped lake trout, switched to salmon. But yeah,
tell Craig, you made a terrible mistake.
Craig, tell us where the tiger trout are. DM me. Tell me where there's a tiger trout.
Tiger trout or tiger muskie?
Oh, yeah, a tiger muskie. Please DM me where the tiger muskie are. No one can find
anything.
It's the biggest Easter egg in New Jersey right now, except for John Dorn. Jonathan Schmallenberger.
So you're setting someone up. Well, let them answer the question that you just asked from
the leader hook size, that sort of thing.
Like you're setting someone up, like they want to know what rig.
Yeah,
like
Jonathan Schmallenberger. He wants
I'd say
leader hook sizes and tip ups.
Okay. I don't have like a particular like tip up that I'm tied to. I think it's called like a Lake or Heritage, the one I use, but I'm not like particularly tied to it. Just have one that has a good line capacity and not a lot of tension to like release the line. Like you want it pretty loose.
Just a good tip up, not
exactly. Yeah.
Not
don't
the
go
shitty
cheap.
one you bought.
Do they run tons
Walmart.
of line off?
They can. Yeah. I mean, I've caught them that almost the whole tip up has been spooled. I mean, it can happen really quick.
So cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I would personally recommend, like for that reason, I would recommend like an iFish Pro because I mean, just the line management of having that much line out, you just have a nightmare afterwards once you get them in.
I would imagine that makes the jaw jacker awesome because you're fighting them on a rod now instead of hand line.
Yeah, yep. So I'll get to like the jaw jacker thing now. Once they sort of slide off those main like okay, so through the winter they'll be in those deep holes. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get back. You wanted leader and hook info, right? I forgot.
Yeah.
I went past
what's the
that.
leaders?
Yeah, I go no higher than 10-pound test and either
wow.
size 6 or size 4 octopus hooks. So light and small.
Finicky.
Yeah.
So you're using what for bait now in the winter?
So a live trout is still great, but you can really get away with like a small shiner. And I say small for a reason because what we talked about earlier, they are eating small baits, so you don't need to go jumbo.
But the trout can be a little bit bigger. You said like 4 or 5 inches. We don't have anywhere where you could even buy that here.
Okay. Yep. I don't know. Yeah, like you could look into like local hatcheries. I don't even know if they sell them to you guys in New Jersey. But
not that small.
What size?
This is like 4 or 5 inches, like size, or 6 even.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the smallest they'll sell you is like a legal size 9-inch one, I think.
Oh, really? See, I get like a special receipt that I could show like a warden that keeps me clear of any wrongdoing.
I could be wrong. If anyone is in there and I'm wrong, you could say, but I don't think I don't think they sell trout that small to you. Yeah.
Greg,
in that case, I would just get a shiner.
Lakers. Hold on a second. Craig Lemon said Lakers stock 1977 to 95. Natural reproduction was documented in 1985. So that is back a long ways. That's my year I was born, and I'm only 30.
Yeah. Okay.
I noticed
wait. I can't. The 10-pound leader.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask. Are these fish so? I noticed you mentioned pressure before. Are they that pressured that you're going down to 10-pound leader for these giant fish? Is that because of pressure?
It's two things. It is fishing pressure. They certainly, like, if you ran like a 20-pound fluoro leader, they would see it. The water's incredibly clear. It's like similar clarity to like Round Valley, very similar. And it's more about like presenting a bait properly. Like if you imagine if I take a small shiner and I put a 5/0 circle hook through it and 40-pound fluorocarbon, that just looks like a mess. It doesn't present properly at all.
That thing ain't moving. That's just gonna sit there and die.
That's right. So 10-pound leader, small hook to match the size of the bait, just keeps it natural and good looking.
Man, that's some. You hook up to a big striper on 10-pound line, like with your hands on the tip up, like and a small hook. Oh my God, that's
always uses small hooks too, all the time.
What?
You ever notice Chuck's hook? Like Chuck's always using a small hook on everything.
Not for the big stripers, for doing the eels.
For everything else, he's always got even like pike fish, and his hook's 10 times smaller than mine.
Well, it's got to match the bait, like Josh said. Is that it has to match the bait. But when
can't believe
big fish is eating small bait, that's
most of this pressure, is it like from locals or is it out of state people? Why is there so much pressure?
It's just a popular fishery. I mean, it gets talked about a lot. We're talking about it now. Plenty of articles get written about it, and it's like on the smaller side. I think it's probably the smallest striper fishery we have in Pennsylvania. It's just under 1,000 acres. So like people get this idea in their mind that it's like, I'll put my boat in and I'll find them quickly. It's smaller area. Although it's, they live in such crazy places in that lake, people don't often encounter them.
Craig Lemon, if Craig Lemon's still listening, has New Jersey ever considered true strange stripers in a freshwater lake before, like Pennsylvania?
I thought, I could be wrong about this. I thought there was some sort of issue where they were worried about them getting out into the Delaware and out into the saltwater, and that would somehow. Oh no, that's hybrids. I apologize. That's the hybrid logic. Never mind. Disregard that. They were worried about stocking hybrids for a while in Pennsylvania because they thought they might be able to get out into the Delaware and somehow corrupt the saltwater stock. But I was misspeaking there. I apologize.
Really?
How would it corrupt the saltwater stock if they can't reproduce?
So that's the thing, right? Apparently, there's been a couple of like nuanced cases where they have successfully reproduced. So apparently, it's not a perfect rule that they can't, but it is extraordinarily rare, and it seems redundant not to stock them in PA when the neighbor state, New Jersey, which flows into the same river, is doing it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've seen guys catch hybrid stripers in the Delaware River. Like they do get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Law says you could buy any size trout you want in New Jersey as long as you have a receipt.
Really? I did not know that.
Give them a try. They're pretty good.
I mean, all right. I'm gonna ask next time.
Maybe we should try them for hybrids. Like we need 3-inch trout for hybrid striped bass fishing.
I mean, yeah. I think there
So
are
if you
some
guys,
fisheries that you can't use the trout in, but other than that, those couple of places, yeah.
All right, so we're going ice fishing with Josh. We'll trade you for something. You want? We'll bring you pike fishing if that's what you want.
Totally down for that. Yeah, pike, some walleye. They're down for anything like that.
We'll trade.
We have. I don't know what you know about the pike. We have the weirdest, coolest pike fishery here, where like these pike are in like one of the dirtiest rivers. I think.
Does that river start with a P?
New Jersey did stock them.
Yeah, we. I mean, everyone knows Passaic River. It's the dirtiest. Okay, yeah. Isn't it one of the dirtiest rivers like in the country?
No, it's the I know it's the number one most polluted waterway in New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
Craig Lemon is saying they actually did stock true strain stripers in Union Lake down south.
Oh really?
Oh cool.
That's what he said.
Well, hey. I mean, we've been trying to have Craig come on the podcast, but they like won't let him or something. I don't know. We'd love to.
Well, he's talking to me. Craig, you're talking to me right now through the chat. Just pop on the video. What's the difference?
Just come on the show, Craig.
Come on, Craig. Craig is like the father of all fishing here in NJ. Like he raises all the fish.
Yeah, he's the stocking master.
The stock master.
I think I've like chatted with him a little over like Facebook before. Seems like a nice guy.
Oh yeah, great. real nice guy. Yeah, Craig's awesome.
Can I move him on now to another species, or he's still ice?
Can I tell you one more thing about ice fishing for stripers before I move on? I think you'll find it really cool.
Yeah,
let's hear it.
As the ice fishing season is starting to come to an end, this is the best time to catch stripers. It's late and ice out. They move out of that deep water towards the inflows. Anywhere from like 30 to 40 feet of water is what they're comfortable in, but they want to be next to like shallow flats and like early weed vegetation that's going to come up. So anywhere that warms up quickly but still has deep water access, they'll be sitting in these areas and they will sit, not kidding, 5 feet under the surface of the ice in 40 feet of water. I mean, they swim almost with their backs on the top of the ice. The best days of ice fishing for stripers I've ever had is when I've put my sonar down in the hole and the water under the ice is over 40 degrees. I mean, this is a short period because the ice is breaking up quickly at that point. It might be a week long, but in that time, if you're in that proper zone where they're holding and you have jaw jackers, this is the time where jaw jackers shine, because now we're talking about a distance of like 5 feet that it's jaw jacking, not 70. So you run a trout just subsurface under the ice. I mean, I've had like 8 fish days just where they're popping as quick as you can get them reset again. Really like insane fishing that time of year, but it's a short period, you know, like the ice is starting to break up, but it's a crazy experience.
The ice near those inflows is extra sketchy. So
that's right. Be careful.
Disclaimer, if anyone tries to do this and you fall through the ice and die, it's not our fault.
Do those fish spawn in the lake, or they have to spawn in a river?
They don't have enough running water in the lake to keep their eggs suspended long enough to survive. So they end up settling into the silt and dying. I think they need a certain length of flowing water to keep their eggs alive, and they don't have that in the lake.
But they do kind of go through like the motions, I guess.
They do try, yeah. They make a run.
Chuck told me about that like the striper egg has to float for 24 hours or something. Like, it's really weird, but yeah, you need the perfect water for it to happen.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So just in closing, before we totally leave it. So I want to, so if I'm a guy, I know how to ice fish a lot of different stuff. I want to go that, I'm rigging my tip ups with light leader, 10-pound long, I'm assuming, because obviously if they're line shy,
20 feet.
How long?
20 feet a leader.
20 feet a leader. That's a lot longer than any of my other tip up leaders. So you're going 20 foot, 10-pound leader, smaller hook to match the bait, either a small shiner or a small trout. I'm setting up over this deeper water off these main lake points, something like that. And I guess the number one thing advice would be, like you said, even, there's those windows. You just got to
Mhm.
wait them out. Don't move the shit around too much. And
Yeah, don't drive yourself crazy. You can do too much and like leave fish to fight. These are inactive. I can't do anything. I got to go find active fish. Just wait on them. They'll go active eventually.
so it's I guess it's kind of hard to find that kind of confidence to sit and wait.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, that's the solid advice right there, because without someone telling you that, you're moving, you're going to end up moving too much. Yeah. But all right, Joe, you can move on now. I think I'm pretty satisfied and
We could be multi-species now. Not
Yeah,
ice
what else
fishing
you wanna
or
talk about?
striped bass. Well, I heard him mention walleye. I hear you talk about LiveScope a lot. You must love LiveScope, huh?
Yeah. It's like such a. I don't even these days, because I've been fishing the lake for so long that I kind of know like where they go and what they do. But just as like an educational tool, like I said before, like seeing how they react to the boat going over them is like something you would have never seen, like figured out on 2D. Seeing like it's you can imagine the boat goes over them. I can see my trolling motor on the LiveScope as I'm trolling, and as soon as that comes within like 20-30 feet of them, they dart sideways around on the boat. They would
they're
never
gone.
know that.
You wouldn't have seen them.
That's right. Yeah. Yep.
So now, when you go out for walleye and you do the other stuff, are you using your LiveScope for that too?
The walleyes, I don't tend to have much success with the LiveScope because the bottom of Beltsville is like hard slate rock, and they will sit with their bellies right on the bottom. And that on LiveScope, that hard bottom is so like hot of a return that any fish that's got its belly on the bottom just sort of blends into the bottom and doesn't become visible. Honestly, it's the one time for walleyes is one of the time I really don't use my LiveScope, and I actually use my 2D more. Because if you hang like a jigging wrap or something, a couple feet off the bottom, on the 2D, at the very least, you might see them rise up a couple feet and then drop back down. And it's tough to see that on LiveScope.
And your typical trip, you take 2 people?
I take up to 4 guests, although I should mention I
really?
don't do walleye trips, just to be clear.
Wow, you take 4 people. How big is your boat?
I got a 22-foot pontoon boat, so it's got some size to it.
Oh, so you could fit like a nice party on there. This sounds really, Chris, we got to do this.
I'm always down. I mean, you don't have to.
I don't know
pull
if
my
we have
leg
2
for
friends,
anything,
really,
really.
we could
but...
try.
So you don't do walleye trips, ice or open water, I guess.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's like I said before, it's probably the hardest fish to target in Beltsville. It's just they live so deep and they're so finicky about jigging cadence. It just wouldn't feel right like taking someone's money for them because it would be a low chance of success. That's almost one of the only things I wouldn't do.
Through the ice here, they're the same way. And I've always thought it's so weird. Like, have you ever gone up to like upstate New York and fish?
I've done like the Oneida thing. I've done Chameau.
Like,
I've done that. Yep.
Yeah, it's like what? It might as well be a different species.
Yeah,
right?
very much. Yeah, it's these highland reservoirs. I think it's the combination of clear water and them being very keyed in on those AOIs.
Yeah,
I think that's
a couple people commenting into the chat that that's not your trolling motor pushing those stripers out. That it's the LiveScope that's doing that.
I mean, it's possible. It's very hard to know because I have to run the LiveScope to see it happen. But I will say, like, you do often pick them up on 2D, even when the LiveScope's not running, like out to either side, sort of like they might be like splitting. My theory is it's towards being under, not necessarily the trolling motor. I don't think it's the trolling motor. I think it's the presence of the boat. And remember, I have a 22-foot pontoon boat, so it's a pretty big thing going over them.
Does LiveScope make noise or something? Or
it clicks. Yeah, it clicks like a.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You didn't know the sonar? You don't know how sonar works?
I mean, but does it actually make noise?
Yes, it's.
If you put your ear to it, you can hear it.
Signal.
Yeah,
that's what what brings back the picture. It's the echo off the sound.
I didn't think you could actually hear it though.
I think you would have to say that all sonar scares fish if you were going to say that LiveScope sonar scares fish because it clicks in a very similar way.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking basically. Is the LiveScope making like a different sound than the traditional
It might click more because I think it shoots 3, depending on which brand you have, it shoots 3 like arrays of sonar and stitches them together.
Yeah,
so it might click more.
It's got to be a more intense of like a frequency or something. It's got to be some. I mean, to get that kind of like reading back, it's got to be It's got to be more intense or something, I would imagine. But
Holy shit!
I wouldn't claim to
didn't
be
know
like I'm not certain about it, but my like gut feeling is, especially in the clear water, they're reacting more to the boat than anything else. But
yeah,
hey,
I could.
so the science is out.
There's a lot of guys that will turn off their, and I'm sure there's some, a lot of reality to it. They'll turn off they'll use the LiveScope to scan an area, see what's around. So, and then they'll turn it off because they believe. And I think some guys have, I don't know about proven it is the right way to say it, but guys will see that it does affect the fish in some way negatively.
It's probably very and I'm sure it probably changes a lot lake by lake too. I mean, on a lake that has very little boating pressure and they're not used to hearing anything, I don't know if that would mean they're less sensitive or more sensitive to like a LiveScope pinging. I mean, certainly like on belts that we have so much boat traffic, so many boat noises, almost every boat has a basic, at least read depth in its pinging. I mean, they must hear the sound a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they can't not eat everything, and they hear that they only eat at night. I mean, they have to get used to it to some extent. But also, you said like with the rocks on the bottom, that return is, that's the echo, and even that's going to change based on if you got a lake with a soft bottom, that return is going to sound completely different too. So, but like you said, I feel like I'm kind of with you. Like the fish got to get used to it in some respect. I don't know.
I would assume that if anything, they're going to be afraid of LiveScope is if you have fish that have been repeatedly caught in that setting, right? Like fish definitely learn. So if you have like a bass or something that has been caught 3 or 4 times now while getting click 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 by the deucer, it could probably like negatively associate that sound. But I think it's a learned experience rather than like a default thing.
See, I always argue with people that fish can't really learn. They don't have like the brain biology. They're like conditioned, but I say fish are dumb. Like they don't have, their brains can't learn. But in the same aspect, I mean, conditioning is a type of learning anyway, I guess, but I don't know.
I feel like they would at least have to have short-term memory, because otherwise you would have bass that would immediately eat upon being released.
We do have. I mean, I don't know. The stripers got to have a bigger brain than largemouth bass. I catch a largemouth bass like 3 times in a row. They're
fair enough. I'm not gonna argue with you about how lame greenfish are.
Someone just said the short-term memory of a wild turkey is a half an hour. I don't know how that's relevant to this. So, Josh, what would be your second best trip to go on? What species would be the target?
You're talking ice fishing only, or
no? Get off the ice fishing now. We're on the pontoon boat.
I mean, my most popular trip is like it's like a combined smallmouth striper trip. Just because the smallmouth are so much in the same areas that they will guarantee to catch both. That's primarily what I'm doing. Ice fishing tends to be like more of a the trip that I run for clients is more of like a family entry level. Like we'll catch largemouth, pickerel, all the various panfish like crappie and stuff. But it's going to be like more of a low-key, relaxing learning experience. I don't offer like a high-end trophy fishing type of ice fishing trip, just because for the way I just said, if you're going to ice fish for stripers, you might sit for 8 hours for one bite. And it's just not something that, I don't know. It would be weird to take money to people for money to do that.
Yeah. All right. I get that.
I mean, I'm interested. We could get 2 people.
Hey, I mean, if you guys want to come and sit for 8 hours, I'd love to have you. I'm just not going to advertise that for people to come and do it.
I mean, that's no problem for us. Sitting 8 hours sounds easy.
I've done much worse than that for much less. We'll just leave it at that. Often.
Well,
fair enough.
Josh, I mean, it sounds like we're going to make an even trade to do something. You come with us, we'll go with you. That'd be awesome.
I'd love it. Yeah, sounds good.
Now, let me ask anyone that's watching this show that's interested in booking an ice fishing trip or coming with you. What's the best way to find you?
Or the pontoon trip.
Or the pontoon boat trip.
Yeah, so like I said, the most common thing I'm doing is May and June around the striper smallmouth trips, and then again in October, November. Those like and those book up pretty quick. Like those are popular. And then most of like January and February, I'll be running ice fishing trips for sort of that miscellaneous like bass, perch, pickerel sort of thing. Outside of that, this summer, I haven't offered it yet. It'll be the first season I'm going to offer it. Next year, I'll be offering brown trout fishing trips on Harvey's Lake. So you can contact me about that if you want to do that. Best place to contact me is on Facebook, my Fish Fever Guide Service page. That's the best place for it.
And just message you through Facebook?
Yep.
That's awesome. Josh, I have to thank you for taking the time to come on here and talk to us, and hopefully we do get to go fishing together. That'd be awesome.
No, seriously, yeah, let's set it up. Let's not just talk about it.
I agree.
We'll grab George, too.
George. George, you're in. Come on, let's do it. Let's set it up, George. Josh, thank you so much.
Very welcome, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, nice talking
Thank
to you,
you,
bud. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good one.
All right, later.
I have to real quick before I forget, too. The striper bite here is starting to get a little slower, but it's still there. Captain Dom from Maple has, I think, 1 day left available. I think he asked to about like going for a shark on the weekend. If anybody wanted to get out for a thresher shark or try to squeeze in one last striper trip, 8-Ball Sport Fishing in Point Pleasant. Give him a call, see what he has. He may have something for this week, possibly. I said, extremely affordable and flexible. He'll work with you. But he did text me the other day asking me if I wanted to go find a thresher shark. So that usually means he knows where they are.
Yeah, no, he didn't just winging it. But what I was going to add is that I'm pretty sure he said he's repowering his boat over the off season this year. So next season is going to be game on for whatever. I don't know. Like, we'll let him announce it when the time comes, but there's some cool shit coming, I'm assuming. And
Captain Dom will be he'll be at the Christmas party.
Yeah.
He's giving a charter away too. And Kim's giving cool Yeti bucket away. You'll have a chance to win an 8-ball charter.
Yeah, half. You win 50% off the charter. So you could basically it's a 6-man charter, right? So 3 people go for free, basically, or you just all split it and all go for $50.
You could go for free. Make your friends all day.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I would do it. I mean,
yeah.
But
so 8-ball, a lot of opportunity. I also talked to Eddie Mackin today, who's still hunting and continuing to be in the woods, but he did find a very good jerkbait bite. He told me where it is because he told me to go there. I'm going to try, like, if I get time, but I might. It's possible.
No.
I don't know.
You can tell me, I'll go. Tell Dwayne will go.
I'll go with you. But Eddie Mackin has a pretty decent jerkbait bite going on, especially for decent pickerel, walleye, and white perch. So you can call Mackin's Rippin' Lips Fishing Trips if you're interested in getting out on a pack on the jerkbait bite. Eddie's season is coming to an end, but he's still doing a few last trips.
And you might as well. I mean, honestly, if you're thinking about the spring bite, the dates are basically the same every year. I mean, as long as you don't try to pull the trigger too early, like, so if you're someone that hasn't gotten into that night bite in the spring on Lake Hopatcong yet, and you like keep thinking about it, like, trust me, do it. I mean, if you don't have a way to do it your own, you don't have your own boat, you know someone with a boat that's out, I mean, you got to experience this. One of the coolest fisheries that we have, that night bite, walleye, and then hybrid bite. I mean, it's so cool.
Most of the people that I take out on my boat say that's the coolest thing they've ever done. You could see Thomas Wyatt will miss 2 days of sleep to come up here to do that. And yeah, it is really great. So yeah, you should book your trips for that now too. And the same with the spring on Round Valley with Yellow Dog Paddle. I mean, you have to get May is always the best to me anyway for that kind of stuff. Trout on Round Valley.
Yeah, I think what people need to understand is, like, if you wait until like the reports start coming out, and that, like, this is my advice to booking charters in general for anywhere you want to travel out to Washington State to fish for sturgeon with with whoever. Like Will Phil Wildman with Northwest Sturgeon Adventures. You gotta realize that the seasons pretty much match every year, right? You gotta book early. You can't wait until once these guides, and this goes for anywhere, once these guides start posting how well they're doing, which again it's like within a week or two of itself every year. Once they start posting that, their availability diminishes at like an exponential rate.
Big time. Same with saltwater, like that same, and I do it all the time.
Right.
I wait too long, and then when I call, there's like they got a Wednesday at 2:00 left. I have to, hi Emma and Francesca, my niece and daughter, writing into the chat now. But I had to bring this up too for all the people that are coming to the Christmas party. The raffles, I think Jerry's going to put it on the website. I think last year they were like $10 for 3, the raffle tickets. Try to bring exact change if you can. I know they had a big pain in the ass with that. There won't be any cards or anything like that at the party for the raffles. It's total change. So try to bring $10 bills, $20 bills.
Cash only. It's all cash only.
It's all cash only. The bar will run a tab and take a card, but as far as the raffle goes, that's all cash.
And they don't expect the bar. It's like an Elks bar. Like they don't have amounts of cash in hand to like make change for your shit like that. So
there might be an ATM in there. Is there an ATM in that bar?
Oh, that's possible. You're gonna get hit with a fee, I'm sure.
I know last year we definitely had a problem with $10 bills. So if you're watching this and coming to the party, try to bring 10s.
Dude, a lot of times those little ATM machines, even some of the big ones, they'll only give you 20s.
Kevin did say there is an ATM at the bar.
Does it only spit out 20s? That's the question.
I've never seen an ATM give 10s.
I very rarely have seen it, but usually most ATMs, I feel like, and especially those smaller ones and like the places like that, only 20s.
Okay. All right. So yeah, $10 bills. Hello. Shout out to Francesca. Hi, Francesca. Chris, who is the guest next week?
Next week, we have. You know what? I actually thought to myself, I'm going to remember to look so that when Joe asks, I can. Is it
Jerry? Is it Jerry Hicks?
No, that's the following week. We got big guest next week.
Who is it?
Frank Panico.
Ooh, about time.
I don't know his exact title, but he's basically the chief of the conservation officers. I don't know what the specific word for word title is, but. Yeah.
So this guy, the best way to describe him is he's the boss of the game wardens. Is
basically. Basically.
So if you wanted to, and he's like, I think he's coming on without permission. Like he's just coming on. No,
they gave him permission. Yeah, they gave him permission. But I talked to him on the phone for a little bit. He just seems like the coolest guy. But if anyone has any questions, he's totally.
Well,
open.
I know that. This peanut gallery here is going to grill him to the core. I know there'll be people.
He brought it up, and he said he enjoys that. Like he is totally cool with questions being fired off at him. He's not 100% guaranteed he's going to be able to answer every weird ass question that these guys.
I have my own questions for these guys.
Oh yeah, no, my
first question is, where the fuck are they? Where are you? We know
the answer to that. Come on. There's not enough.
No. Listen, how often do I see him hunting? I do see him. How often do I see him fishing? Never. I get pulled over by the state police for going too fast every time I'm on Lake Hopatcong. But I don't see these guys.
There's not enough of them. That's it.
I understand that there's not enough of them, but I want to know when I go to the Flatbrook pheasant hunting why I see one. Almost all the time I'll spot one.
For the same reason that if you go ice fishing at Lake Hopatcong where everyone goes at the same time, you see one.
Do you?
Yes. Almost
I haven't
every
seen
time
the last
on a
time I
weekend.
saw one was on Green Turtle Pond, and it had to be at least 4 years ago. And that
Dude,
was your
they-
ice fishing. I haven't seen one open water in longer. I'm not. We're gonna ask them.
As far as open water on a boat, I don't think like how many boats do they have? They don't have. They may. I don't know. We're gonna ask them, but they're not
Kevin
trailering
said
a.
I'm lying because my boat is not capable of speeding.
Oh, I thought you were talking about your car, like driving.
No, I was talking about my boat. I've gotten pulled over on Lake Hopatcong at least 35 times.
Not for going fast, you didn't.
They give me the wake in the dark shit, but yeah, I don't know.
Dude, well,
Dave Law said Frank is a good guy. Dave Law must know him. All I'm saying is I'm just curious to say why, I see him more hunting, even turkey hunting. I see him. I run into him. I don't run into him as often fishing.
You're going to run into them in places where they can be the most efficient at checking. So they're going to purposely be in places that are popular, right? So like during ice fishing season, they can hop around to a lot of the popular lakes and walk out and check many guys at the same time, right? That's where these popular places, that's where the laws are being broken a lot of the time. Like that's their most efficient and effective method, like because there isn't enough of them.
Alex Catyan just said they could hire 10 new people if they just handed fines out for people swimming illegally in water. And it's funny Alex brings it up. That's becoming more and more of a problem. A couple times I went to the Delaware River with Chuck Manny. We wanted to do some shoreline fishing. You couldn't even fish. There were so many people there swimming. It's not a beach. You're not supposed to be doing that shit. Where are these guys? Frank, where are you? Where are these guys?
That might be a good idea. I mean, I think Alex had a great idea. No, I got a lot of questions for him. I hope that people will send in any kinds of questions about rules, questions, and like you don't have to hold back. Like he didn't see. He's not going to be offended. I mean, just from me talking to him on the phone, he's not going to be offended if you ask him like, "Hey, dude, this one rule, like it's so stupid. Like, why does it exist? Like, would you enforce that? It's so dumb." If he thinks the rule is dumb, like he's going to tell you. I mean, he just sounded like a straight shooter. I mean, I'm excited. It's gonna be good.
Craig said acres of open water. So I'm guessing that means it's more logistics of getting on a boat and going on a lake and covering. But still, even on land, I mean, trout opening day,
Yeah, you're telling me you've never seen a conservation officer on trout opening day?
I don't go opening day really anymore.
Right. That's why you're not. That's what I'm saying. You're not seeing them because you're not going to these things that are super popular.
It's also my area. Like Ramapo River, no, never. Wanacue River, yeah, seen them on Wanacue. Not Ramapo. When you get into the Ringwood area, I have seen them. My area down here, you could do whatever you want. It's the Wild West. There's no law.
General answer is they're going to be in the places where just like a state trooper is going to sit and wait for speeders where speeding is more typical. I mean, they have to be efficient in, where the rules are being broken, but I don't know, save it for next week. I mean,
is it against the law to put trout in a bucket?
I don't know. Ask Frank next week.
Anyone listening, is it illegal to put trout in a bucket?
Why don't you just wait and ask Frank next week? Why are you dragging this episode on like you're beating a dead horse? We'll save it for next week.
Okay. Well, next week we're going to find out if it's illegal to put trout in a bucket.
And other much more interesting and important things.
No, I've had this argument for like 10 years. It's worded very strangely in the
it's not
compendium.
A bad question. I'll give it to you.
Okay, so I'm done. We will be back next week with Frank Panico, if that's how you say it, the boss of the game wardens in New Jersey. So if you have your questions, get them ready, because this is going to be an interesting one. It is also the last episode before the Christmas party. if you are interested in donating any giveaways to the Christmas party, you can contact us. We'd be happy to give your shit away. No problem. You could email us at njmultispecies@gmail.com. If you're watching this podcast on Spotify or YouTube and pissed off, you cannot comment live. We are live on Facebook every Monday night at 7 p.m. Follow us on Facebook to see the live. Thank you to everyone. I'll be back next week. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Is this the last one? Before that? It is, right?
Yeah.
A happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and enjoy the holiday 4-day weekend.
Yeah, and if you weren't watching it live, you're going to see this after Thanksgiving and miss Joe's Happy Thanksgiving. But that was a great closing.
Also, this Huck hat is on sale for Black Friday at $9 on Amazon. It's a great deal.
That's great. Can I end the show now?
End the show.
All right. Suffer for the fish. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.